For the season of Lent, I have moved the McNabb family rocking chair into the sanctuary. This chair is old. It has done a lot of rocking, whether putting babies to sleep, relaxing old bones, or a place to calm one's fears, to cry a few tears, or contentedly daydream. This chair has witnessed much emotion and holds many secrets. I have moved it to the sanctuary because rocking chairs symbolize for me comfort and a place for deep thinking. In the season of Lent, Christians take time to reflect on deep concepts, items often ignored or avoided as we go about living our everyday lives. Topics like sin, evil, death, corruption, greed, jealousy, betrayal, guilt, shame, confession. Lent drops us into deep matter, continually pulling us to the themes humans run away from. Today we are told, to our face, remember that you are dust, and to dust you will return. On Ash Wednesday, the church puts its best foot forward, daring to articulate and communicate to the world that we are not in control as a church or as individuals. We are but dust. We acknowledge this hard truth. Rather than responding by fight or flight, we choose to sit in the deep matter. We are but dust. We witness those in the world who try to leverage control, flex their power, and others who simply give up. We witness those who fight with all their might to gain or take control until others are crushed. When frustration breeds desperation on both ends of the polarity. We have been witnesses to COVID mandate protests, freedom rallies, invasion, and war with nuclear threat. We've seen astounding numbers of displaced persons, guns in shopping malls, teenagers robbing banks, the exorbitant raising of rent, and growing food insecurity. In the midst of this world, we are called to sit in the deep matter. The simple truth. Remember, you are dust, and to dust you will return. To be honest, at first glance, these words are not all that comforting. My nature is to fix things, make circumstances better, problem solve, organize, and to get things done. When witnessing the state of the world, I feel helpless and at times hopeless. Remembering that one is dust is just fuel to the already feeling insignificant chant that runs through my head and the sense that all is out of control. So what's the point? Being here tonight, actually anytime I come with you in Christian community to pray, to hear the word, to worship, give me pause to wade in deep matter. And doing so changes me. I find peace through articulation of that which scares me, freedom to ponder hard truths in safety. I receive grace in sharing of burdens. I am calmed in focused prayer. I am filled with hope in the joining of voice in song. I am reassured through the power of ritual and community, the past, the present, the future, a great cloud of witnesses, faithful through the ages. Tonight we are told, remember that you are dust, and to dust you will return. In your presence, in God's presence, this hard truth is not what it seems at first glance. In community, this statement becomes life-giving. One of the places deemed to have the happiest citizens in the world is Bhutan, a predominantly Buddhist country in the Himalayas. In Bhutanese culture, they have an old saying, "To be a happy person, one must contemplate death 5 times daily." Death is matter of fact, in your face, through public art, festival stories, and in everyday living. Yura, the director of the Center for Bhutan Studies, once said in an interview, "Rich people in the West, they have not touched dead bodies, fresh wounds, rotten things. This is a problem. This is the human condition. We have to be ready for the moment we cease to exist." He goes on to muse that to ignore the hard truth that death is part of life has a heavy psychological cost. As a people, the Bhutan community, embracing death as part of life, gives freedom to living, and this is happiness. Snuggling into this rocking chair, surrounded by community, wading in deep matter, I contemplate a comment made to me by a former sister-in-law who was annoyed by what she called my family's stoic, emotionalist approach to death, specifically in reference to not wailing or overtly crying at my dad's funeral. There was lots of grieving. There were lots of tears, but not while celebrating communion in the cemetery, surrounded by people who loved my dad, surrounded by a community of faithful, those present and those who'd gone on before, surrounded by promise and hope, and feeling the goodness of life and life after what we know and understand. Corporate burden carrying, corporate faith sharing, corporate facing of hard truths, corporate happiness in the abundance of God and the abundance of life was viscerally present, even in death. Christian community wading in deep matters makes a difference. That day in the cemetery and in many cemeteries, the community through worship, prayer, and standing side by side acts out, "You are dust, and to dust you will return." But combined with the word of God, the hugs, the holding of hands, the tears, the memories, the silence, the moment draws out the beauty of being part of the sands of time. The dust, the earth seems final, until one takes note of the beetles and the worms. Life. And in the process of community, dust takes on significance. In fact, dust turns death to life. Consider individual grains of sand that together make a beautiful beach. The life-giving dust that billows from fields at harvest time, rich with the smell of produce. The sustaining gift of dust that when binding and mixing with other dust and stone makes brick, cement, glass, building material. The trillions of specks of dust that scatter and absorb solar radiation, bringing balance to the planet's radiation needs. The community of dust particles that form clouds and are the key element in the Earth's climate system. Without individual minute particles of dust working together as a whole, life on Earth would not, could not exist. Remember that you are dust, and to dust you will return, is a call to reflect on deep matters. It is a call to turn from human individualism. It is a call to turn from false ideals of self-sufficiency and self-grandeur. It is a call to acknowledge hard truths. It is a call to the necessity of community living. It is a call to act as community. It is a call from death to life. Some of you may remember the TV show, The Friendly Giant. The friendly giant would greet children in the morning and invite them into his castle to join his puppet friends, Rusty the rooster, who lived in a book bag that hung by the castle window, and Jerome the giraffe, who stuck his head in the same window. Friendly welcomed one into the castle to sit by the fireplace. One little chair for you, and a bigger chair for two to curl up in, and someone who likes to rock a rocking chair in the middle. Then the three, sometimes with additional friends, would have a conversation about something going on in their lives, and there would be a little music. The conversation was serious and honest. Questions were encouraged. All listened to each other. All were heard. In 15 minutes, the show was over, and children left the castle feeling better than they had when they arrived. Tonight, wading in deep matters, facing the hard truth of death with all of you, in the presence of God, I feel comfortable, better than I did when I arrived. Thank you for beginning your journey through Lent and doing so with a community of faith. Friendly ended each show, as I do tonight, with an invitation to come again. It's late. This little chair will be waiting for you, for one of you, and a rocking chair for another who likes to rock, and a big armchair for two more to curl up in when you come back to our castle again. For now, peace be with you.